Okay, Miss Marvel. Episode 2, Kamala and Bruno explore the source of her newfound powers just in time for a perilous new adventure. Greg, Miss Marvel.
I don't really like this show. It's really like I like the music because it like kind of harkens back to like the era we grew up, but there's nothing like this is a show that I really scroll my phone through, and then when it ends, I'm like, oh shit, that ended, and it's just not that good. I hate this. I hate to be like that guy, but I just don't think it's good. I think they tried to like fit something in there and there's nothing interesting about it. I don't care about any character in this show. Like there's not a single character I care about this. And they're trying to make it like an aughts kind of like drama sitcom show, but it's not good enough. It's like it doesn't do any of those things well enough. It's not funny enough. There's nothing I laugh about. Like there's things where I watch the show by myself, but I was like, I'll go like, oh, well, and I'm not a TV writer, but I'll be like, oh, if you would have done this instead of this would have actually been funny. And so I feel like you have like TV writers writing this show and it just seemed bad. And we talked about this being, in between Doctor Strange and Thor, probably for a reason, because, like Thor, Doctor Strange was whatever it was, and Thor is probably going to be, for me, I think Thor is probably going to be awesome. I have really high expectations for this. And it was just like, I just don't think this show was meant to be anything. I think it was like, we're going to get to Captain Marvel at some point, probably at the very end, and then that'll be a thing. And this is the problem is like the Young Avengers suck in the comic books and they're going to suck in the movies. And that's just kind of where we're at. It's just like the comic books of the Young Avengers are not good and they just aren't. They're just very low rated comic books by a lot of people. Very boring and just, it's not Captain America. It's not Iron Man. It's not any of these characters that we relate to. And also they're all just teenagers. And it's like, we all hate teenagers. And
Spider-Man's a teenager.
What?
Spider-Man's a teenager.
Spider-Man's a teenager, but like he grows into being an adult. He's also just like smart. Like, I think that's like the difference between Spider-Man 2 is like Spider-Man is actually so much smarter than everyone else. And that's what makes it different. Like everybody else is kind of just like, oh, I have powers. And then Spider-Man's like, I have powers. Let me see what I can just do with these. And it just, for me, this show just doesn't work. It just doesn't. Like, I'm so bored by it. Like, I don't think it's good. I just don't.
Well,
I don't think it's good.
I think at this point, and we kind of touched on this a little bit last week, but this is the first show that is definitively not for us.
No, it is.
You know what I mean?
It isn't for us. No.
And this was, and you kind of talked about it. It's a younger girl. It's the first Islamic character in the MCU. It just seems like they're trying to maybe cast the net a little bit and bring in some new viewers. I will say I found myself in the same position where I would be on my phone and then all of a sudden something happened. And if I was in that position in an episode of like Moon Knight, which I wasn't because I was never on my phone. But
right, same.
It would have been like, oh shit, I need to rewind. But with this, it's like, probably doesn't matter.
And I think that to me is the biggest thing is like, I just don't like, I know it's not necessarily meant for us, but like, and it has nothing to do with like whoever the actress or whatever. I just don't think the show is interesting. I honestly just don't. I would be interested to know what like younger people think about this because I don't think there's anything to me that's interesting about this show. I just don't. I don't think there's anything that makes it appealing because younger people I taught fifth graders and they love the Marvel universe. And, I don't have them to talk to about this show right now, but it's like, do you think the show is good? They maybe think it's good because it has colors and action, but like there's nothing going. Like there's nothing. There's nothing at stake. Like
yeah, and that's the thing that's kind of bothering me. It's like, and this is 11 episodes.
Oh shit.
I hope this some of them get shorter. I think that this show would be served
It's too
better
long
with
episodes. With 50. Yeah.
It would be served better with shorter episodes. This show should be no longer than 35 minutes. Yeah. And the problem is it's like 55 minutes. And it's just the characters aren't interesting enough to cover that much time. I am quite taken. I will say, I am quite taken with Kamala as a character because. Oh my God, what was that?
My yawn.
Oh my, that was an aggressive yawn.
Sorry.
Yeah, that was good. No, that
so
was
coming
good.
Off of not getting to bed till like 1:30 last night. So
yeah, well,
happens.
It was good. It stalled for me for a second to find the IMDb page. Amon Villani. I'm quite taken with her as a character for a couple of reasons. She's comically unathletic, which I find to be very funny. Maybe it's intentional, maybe it's not, but most of these characters that you think of as superheroes or whatever, they're cut, they're chiseled, look at Black Widow, either one of them. Look at Haley Steinfeld in the new Avengers.
Right.
Look at Captain Marvel. They're all super fit, and she looks like a toddler scurrying across the rooftop at the end of the
right
like that sequence. So I found that to be really funny. And like I said, I don't know if it's meant to be that way, but I think she's really cute. I think that character is cute and very charming.
Sure. Yeah.
But
I agree.
I just think it's this, the story is just, I'm just not with it. Yeah. And like we said too, part of it might be a headspace thing because we have watched so much stuff lately that's just super heavy, and this is very lighthearted. Right. But we'll see. And I just, like you said, also, I don't think that there's just nothing like the two cops or whatever they are, like the chick from Orange is the New Black. I just don't who cares? Right. You know what I mean? Like we've been watching shows and movies where it's like multiverse and gods fighting gods, and there's in the next movie it's going to be Thor, the god of thunder, against Gore, the god butcher, and now it's just like street level stuff. And I know that at large, you and I have talked about we prefer the small scale stuff, but this just seems way too juvenile for me. And that's just me. Same. Maybe it's a me. It could be a me problem.
It could be. I but I don't think it is. Right. I actually don't. I just think this show isn't good. I really just don't think it is. Because I think Marvel is one of those things where it's just like, we were this age when we weren't this age necessarily, but like when the first, how old would we have been when Iron Man came out? 22, 23?
Was that 2008? So
yeah.
It had been, depending on when it was.
I was 23.
Yeah, 23, 24.
And it's like, I mean, like, I was so young and dumb. And it's like, that movie was so good to me. And it's like, and that was good to 13-year-olds then. It's just like, I feel like, I don't think you need to draw young people in. I think you just need to appeal to everyone when you're doing this. And it's like, this is the problem with the show. Is I don't think it really appeals.
I think that the problem with this show is the overall problem with the MCU, where it's just too big. And now they're having to go so deep into the well to find new characters.
Right.
And some of them are going to work, like Moon Knight and, Kate Bishop and some of these other characters that we've come across, and some of them aren't. And I will say, since the end of COVID, where they've started kicking everything back up, most of the new stuff hasn't worked. Just being totally honest. Eternals was bad. What else? The America Chavez character wasn't super interesting in Doctor Strange. This hasn't been doing it. Moon Knight was good, but Moon Knight was barely an MC. Yeah, you know what I mean? So that in and of itself is, so it's just, I think that especially after we get through this run of Spider-Man, Doctor Strange, Thor, Black Panther's a wild card, and then you have Guardians 3. After that, it's a crapshoot. And I think that this is the inflection point of this is gonna start not being good anymore.
Well, I think it's
gonna be more consistently bad than good. Sorry to cut you off.
No, that's fine. I think this is the thing where, like, show me how good you actually are doing this.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like if you're good at this, then you can make these characters interesting. But if you're not, this is where, you know, the rubber meets the road. And because we know, I think you and I both agree. Thor. I think we
Thor's
both have very high.
Thor's going to be good. I don't think there's any way around.
Like, I mean, like, I just think, you know, besides having Christian Bale in it, who we both love, I mean, I think we just think that movie is a movie we're going to walk out and we're going to be like, boom, great.
Good. Yeah.
I actually would be disappointed if it's not great. I honestly have nothing left. I wish that's it. It's a God killer. Kill him off, and, like, you know, like, just.
I will never. It would be very difficult for them at this point to do anything that will change my mind that the whole thing shouldn't have ended with Endgame.
And I've never disagreed with you, Brendan. I always say, like, if they want to do it, they want to do it. But Endgame, it was called Endgame for a reason.
Right. And we've gotten some good stuff, you know. I mean, the Black Widow thing was overdue, and Spider-Man was obviously great. And I think that Thor.
I also say Spider-Man's different. I think it's
a little bit.
Yeah. You know what I mean? I think that's different. But, like, if we want to do all these side characters, it just doesn't work.
Some of the shows have been good. Some of the shows haven't been good. You know.
But the biggest thing in Marvel is always Iron Man, Spider-Man, the Avengers,
X-Men. Yeah.
And that's it. And it's like, these side characters never work, and don't try pushing them on it.
They're side characters for a reason.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. Because look at, and we've talked about this, but look at how successful the Guardians movies have been. They've tried to launch Guardians comics multiple times and they never make it.
It's bad. Yep.
They never make it. It doesn't need to be bad. I mean, part of it's comic. It's a whole thing. That's a whole nother discussion for
right. It's a whole other discussion.
But this show really needs to pick up steam in a hurry.
Yeah.
Or else it's going to be getting a weekly boo.
Yeah.